Hey there everybody, it's Leland the Realtor, and today we're going to discuss something that a lot of people have been coming to me with, which is, hey, is a market crash going to happen? When is that market crash going to happen? And what is going on with the overall housing industry, especially with prices going up as much as they have been going up to? Well, much like anybody, I don't have a crystal ball, but I have taken an in-depth look at a lot of the information out there to help you decide what you think is going to go on with the housing market, to help you make the decision to either sell your home, buy your home, keep your home, hold on to your home, or whatever you end up wanting to do. So the very first thing that we are going to discuss is how much have homes actually increased in cost in terms of their price and their monthly payment. So if we take a look over here, this is the Greater Albuquerque Area Realtors Association data. This is the best data that is available. It's directly from the MLS. It has all the homes that have been purchased and sold and all the data associated with it. So when you actually take a look at how much prices have increased, you can take a look at this median sales price right here, and then you also have average sales price right here. So when you zoom in to look at the actual prices, you'll see that the median price went from $226,000 to $265,000. And that is a 17.3% increase in comparison to December 2019 and December of 2020. And then you also look at this average price right here, $264,467 with $313,254. That is up 18.4% since December of last year. And this is only single family detached homes. So we can see objectively that prices are substantially higher than they were last year during this same exact time. But the biggest thing that we need to address is the actual cost of these homes, because although the price of homes has objectively gone up substantially, the actual interest rates and the monthly fees associated with these homes have actually gone down. So the way we can actually help calculate costs is we're going to take a look at Freddie Mac's interest rates. Now, Freddie Mac is a huge secondary mortgage market. So essentially you originate your loan with one loan officer, and then you go over and then actually Freddie Mac will go and buy that loan and service that loan for a long period of time. They are a big contributor as to why certain interest rates are certain interest rates and why you have to provide certain qualifications for your mortgage. So if you take a look here, you'll see that there has been a substantial trend downwards over the last year in terms of interest rates. So if we take, for instance, come over here and say we take a look at the interest rate on January 9th of 2020, you'll see that it's 3.64% on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. And then if we go all the way over here to today, which is January 7th, that's not a total year, but that's pretty close, you'll see an interest rate of 2.65%. So you can see that that's almost a full percent interest rate drop in comparison to last year. So how does that actually play into the actual cost of your mortgage? Because the price of your home is not the same thing as the cost of your mortgage. So if we take a quick look at a mortgage calculator, we can actually see here that for a $250,000 home at 3.64%, which was that interest rate that we got for January 9th, 2019, the typical cost of a home is about $250,000. Now at 3.64%, which was the interest rate in January of 2019, we saw a payment, and this is just principal and interest, of $1,142 per month. The total cost after 30 years is going to be that $411,000. Well, now if we take the current interest rate, which is 2.65%, you can see that that payment has dropped substantially to $1,007 per month. So you can see that in comparison to last year, the cost of money was actually 13.4% higher last year in comparison to this year. So one quick question that I had to answer for myself is, how much money would you need to borrow in order to get the same payment as you had at the 3.64% interest rate? Well, I did a little bit of math and I found out that you could actually afford $283,500, and you can see that that is the same exact payment as the previous $250,000. So in this scenario, in comparison to last year, you'd be able to afford $33,000 more in home than you were the year before. So if you take into account the 13.4% increase in the price of money last year, as opposed to the 17.4% increase in median home values of this year, you actually see that there is not a hugely substantial increase in the cost of homes. It's closer to a cost of 3.4% higher than it was in 2019, which is pretty much in line with our 20-year average. Over the last 20 years, we've seen an increase in home prices of 2.7% every single year. So yes, this year is substantially higher in terms of the price of your home, but in terms of the cost of your home, it is not as significant as I initially thought when I started looking at this. So that should answer, in terms of cost of properties, why we are seeing such an increase in value. But that is definitely not the entire story. There is a supply and demand end to this story. And what you'll see is that if we take a look at the data in comparison to last year, we saw an 11.6% increase in the number of new listings that we got on the market. But we had a 38.6% increase in the number of homes that were going under contract, at least for the month of December. And then a 20.7% increase in closed sales just for the month of December. If you take a look at this chart, you'll see that this is 3 years of information on homes. So this is the number of new listings, and you can see that in December, typically it's very low, and in April and May, there are definitely much higher numbers. Well, right here is 2020. It looked normal right up until April. You saw a gigantic drop in the number of new listings, and then you never saw the peak or the high point that you would expect to see for the year. So it actually showed that overall we had fewer listings. Now, if you take a look at pending sales, or the number of homes that went under contract, you saw the exact opposite. You saw what is normally a very smooth transition and bump in sales. You saw initially the months were just flattening out, pretty normal. Huge drop in April, and then a skyrocket in the number of pending homes for May and June. And that had a lot to do with pent-up demand. So this would normally be coming up around here, this line would be. And so you had a huge amount of pent-up demand, and then that demand didn't really taper as fast as in previous years. And in fact, it went up in December, which is something we have never seen, not in any one of the last 3 years, and potentially even the last 10 years. So you can see that December's usually the very lowest number, but this year it was not. So you can see the trend here going up and up, while the number of new listings is continuing to go down and down. These peaks are just not as significant as they were before. So now you can see that there was a huge peak in demand while there wasn't a lot of supply, and a lot of sellers were actually scared to put their home on the market. They're afraid of people with COVID coming in there and of course giving them COVID. But overall, what is actually creating this gigantic demand in homes? Well, a few things is that, one, there was pent-up demand. You saw that a lot of people just stopped and did not purchase a home in springtime, which is normally the most active time of the year. And then all of a sudden, when people were more comfortable, they hit the market running and tried to purchase every single home that was on the market. But a big player in why so many people are leaning towards purchasing a home is that a lot of people do have secured employment. And not only that, although the cost of a home has gone up, the cost of rent is so much higher and has gone up so much more than the price of homes. So if we take a quick look at rentjungle.com here, you can actually see the average rents for every year and every month broken down. And the big ones I'd like to point out here are December of 2019 and December of 2020. You can see for a 1-bedroom, which is this middle column right here, it was $728 last year, while it is $855 this year. And that is a 17.4% increase in a rental rate. That is a huge number. And not only that, for the 2-bedroom, you saw $921 a month last year and $1,043 per month this year. And that in itself is over 13.2% increase in rent. So a lot of people were no longer able to afford the rent that they were paying, and homes were actually the cheaper option in terms of monthly payment. And that actually motivated a lot of people to save money and go to purchase a home. And then another really nice safety factor that most people took into account is that once you have a monthly mortgage payment, that's your mortgage payment. It does not go up from there in terms of principal and interest. Now, taxes and insurance is one thing, just your principal and interest still maintains over the period of the loan, assuming you don't get an adjustable rate mortgage and assuming that you have a fixed rate mortgage. Now, all that being said, how are people affording this? Why is it that these costs are continuing to go up and the demand, of course, is still going up and the supply is down? Who has the funds to actually make this happen? Well, if we take a quick look at the census data, you can actually see exactly how much people are making. Now, this is an inflation-adjusted dollar for 2019 incomes. And then I have the 2010 inflation-adjusted income as well. So you can see that in 2010, the median income was $47,624, and the average income was $63,373. Now, even adjusted for inflation, the income we have 10 years later is $56,115 for our median income and $78,477 for our average income. So the median income is up nearly $800 per month. With all these factors, it does make a lot of sense that home prices are continuing to go up and that most of the calculators that are out there have a 10% expected increase in prices over the next year. So for me personally, I am still purchasing properties whenever they do make sense for my rentals. And I anticipate that rents and home prices are going to increase because a lot of people who are a whole lot smarter than me also believe that. Just like anything, time in the market beats timing the market. And not only that, owning your own home or renting a home is important for your own personal health. Having a comfortable place to live and stay and be free in can be really important and actually help you get a better job and just feel better overall. So I think it's really important to weigh all the pros and the cons. Is the housing market going to crash? I have absolutely no idea at all. But based on the information that I've been going over, with increasing incomes in Albuquerque, increasing rents, a low cost of owning a home being a lower than expected inflation, are all pointing to we're probably not going to see something anytime soon here in Albuquerque. So I hope you found this information useful. If you did, please share it with your family and friends. I am Leland the Realtor, keeping real estate simple. Have a wonderful day.